welcoming you back to the desk of Caddicarus. Join us as we partake into a new installment of Current Quickies.
Hello my duckies, and this time we'll be having a look at Ratchet and Clank on PS4. Cute. This game is pretty bloody good. Tools of Destruction on PS3 is my personal favourite Ratchet and Clank game, but I'm not the biggest fan of the series overall. Why that isn't for here or now, but rest assured I saw gameplay trailers for this, it looked unbelievable, so I got it on the day it came out, finished it in 3 days of non-stop play, and I had to admit it was very addicting and very fun, but what else can I say about it? Well...
This game is a damn great remake of a classic game, the original Ratchet & Clank on PS2, but I personally feel like it missed the mark on a few areas to stop it from being one of the best action platformers ever, and I might have to even go as far as to say it's not better or worse than the original, but on equal grounds for different reasons. Those reasons, for example, being that in the story of the PS4 version, the cutscenes are incredibly animated and the voice performances are brilliant, but the character dialogue, aside from Captain Quark, who is easily at one of his funniest appearances, mostly feels fluffy and expository with not many too funny moments or genuinely great character interactions. Yet on the PS2 version, where the cutscenes looked drab and uninteresting most of the time and the voices weren't perfect for every single character, had much better overall instances of hilarious exchanges, quiet and awkward humor like with the weapon vendor, and a razor-sharp wit. Not to say the story here is bad, it's the same basic thing, but like the main bad guy Drek in the original had a lot more screen time, a lot more interesting and funny things to say, and I do prefer the original voice actor. In this story, the way Ratchet and Clank meet is pretty instantaneous, and their interactions are pretty boring and bland minus a few chuckle-worthy in-game quips. And there's even a completely sudden change in the main bad guy to Nefarious, who has little to no screen time at all, and then all of a sudden is the biggest, baddest, meanest villain of all time in the last 10 minutes. But like I said, Quark is brilliant in this, easily the best character, way funnier than he is in the original, and the way they decided to make the campaign center on him telling the story from his egotistical and false perspective was ingenious and pretty self-aware. I mean, if you do a remake, you already are telling the story differently, so it's like a retelling of a retelling. Fucking clever, Insomniac. But hey, along with Quark, the things that really pull the whole game together are the sound design, music, visuals. Look at it! Look at it! My god, I wanna kiss it! I mean, I kind of wish that some of the visual fidelity was sacrificed so it ran at 60 FPS. If The Last of Us and MGS5 can do it, I don't see why this didn't. But look at it! The visuals and utter atmosphere oozing from this game is worth the price of admission alone. It's the closest thing to playing within a high-end 3D Disney animation these days. And where was it? Oh yeah, and finally the gameplay. This is probably my favorite Ratchet game next to Tools of Destruction in terms of gameplay ever. Since for the Ratchet formula, it does absolutely everything right and sprinkles in tiny improvements and additions to make it something great to play through and experience. The ridiculous weapon selection, including a gun that turns people into sheep, is back in full force to give you total freedom with how you play the game. The upgrading system is not only satisfying and totally open yet again, but offers additional bonuses depending on how you complete the upgrade trees. And using more of your favorite weapons in-game rewards you by upgrading the damage and power of that weapon up to 5 additional times until you get a magnum opus weapon with additional attack styles. I mean, the open range and freedom you get with how you tackle the main aspect of this game, action and blowing the everlasting fuck out of everything, is welcoming and not pandering at all. Especially considering that when I played the game on hard mode, it was pretty fucking difficult and I got killed quite a number of times from being too reckless, meaning that every side weapon and main weapon came into use for me at least once and all had their uses for particular enemies and particular situations. And the feelings you get in this game, not only from the unbelievably flowing and bouncy platforming, but also from the different ways you kill particular enemies, and then watching all the bolts appear, your currency, or running along with your wrench discovering some treasure and then smashing it all up in one go to collect thousands of bolts in one go. Wow. It's all basically what made me keep coming back with this game and made me stuck playing with it until 4 AM most nights. And of course I can commend the level design for being a lot more open in the linear stages with more optional content and secrets to discover, more incredibly brain-teasing moments in the form of the Trespasser puzzles, most of which are indeed optional and very difficult for more secrets and additional stuff, much more brain-teasing Clank sections that had a lot more thought and focus put into them, better and way more exhilarating and rewarding implementation of the hoverboard that feels like it could be its own spin-off game if it was deepened a little bit. The same goes with the ship parts, those were great as well, and from what I've been hearing, maybe even a little bit better than Star Fox Zero as a minigame. Although I haven't played Star Fox Zero yet, so I'm just going by what people are saying, please don't sue me. And there are even a load more completely open stages that give you total free range to explore with a jetpack, and these were easily the best bits for me. You truly feel like a deep space explorer, an adventurer, a treasure hunter, a pest controller, and a beast slayer, and again, the secrets to discover, the additional things to do that really reward you in the long run, and just the pure hours added onto the already fun campaign, but on a totally optional scale without feeling like padding is brilliant. The cherry on top is the brilliant control scheme, the utter chaos each level can amount to, meaning you have to think and plan as well as react on the fly, and the special gadgets that allow more ways to search your favorite levels and travel back to other planets to discover things you couldn't before. I also love the card system and how they're collectibles that actually matter and affect the gameplay in a positive manner, making items and bolts drop more regularly. And collecting full sets to get these benefits, reading the world stories on them, and then trading duplicates to complete the sets is very fun in its own right. Boss encounters, while minimal, are also a lot more difficult and fun. I mean, if you have a fully upgraded heavy bouncer by the final boss, it's a bit easy, but it's still a spectacle and very challenging to keep moving and dodging. And that's exactly what this game is, a spectacle, and a very fun one that doesn't rely on scripted events to make you feel like it's a spectacle. It's refreshing, a solid remake, very fun, very pretty, and yes, I recommend it.
So this game is very comfortable in my opinion, 8 out of 10. Is it one of the best Sony exclusives I've ever played? I wouldn't have said that myself, but it's very fun and definitely worth your money. It's a little bit cheaper than most AAA games as well, so that's a bonus. Cute.